Do you ever feel stressed about money, even when you're not broke? Like you make decent money or you have decent savings, but you still feel stressed about money. Don't feel like you're alone. That's common, right? I have a question from a gentleman that he sent me. We can go over that in depth. I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm not some guy. Hey, look, do your own research, right? I'm not a millionaire yet. But I've done a lot of things in business. I've done a lot of things in finance. I worked in finance my whole career. I've started several businesses. I've completely out of debt, got my wife completely out of debt, have a 6-figure net worth, and I'm 28 years old. You know what I'm saying? So by no means, I'm not the guy, but I do feel I can help my people out. And so obviously if you're here, I'm here to help you as much as I can and just share information, share opinions, and you take what you want, you do with it, right? If you're new to the channel, my name is James Strong. I make videos about trading the futures market, investing in the stock market, and of course, personal finances. We trade to grow our capital. We invest to build wealth over the long term, but we can't do anything without having good personal financial management, right? So that's what it's all about. So let's jump into this question, man. This is from my man, Mike. So Mike says, hey, my name is Mike. I'm 29 years old. I'm constantly stressed about money, even though I'm not broke. I have about $10,000 saved up. How can I stop worrying about money so much and focus on what really matters? All right. So Mike, one man, it's normal to feel stressed about money, right? It's completely normal, man. There have been studies and things that show like one, if I'm assuming you didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth, right? Most people don't. If you did grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth, you messed your trust fund up. You feel what I'm saying? No, but all jokes aside, man, I'm assuming you didn't, right? Like myself or a lot of people. And so a lot of times when you don't grow up with much money, there can be a lack of it in your household. Whether you have money and, parents just blowing it, you were upper middle class, or even if you were lower income, no matter what, there still can be financial trauma there. And studies show that what happens is 90% of people, they fall in two categories, right? 90% fall in one, 10% fall in another. 90% of people fall to a category where when they see financial trauma, because there's a lack of, they end up becoming spenders. And so, that's why during like the pandemic, one of the richest men at that time who got richer was the owner of Louis Vuitton, because people were taking their money and going to buy luxury items and spending it on all the stimulus checks and all that stuff on Louis Vuitton. Then the other 10% is like myself. And we fall into the category of savers or investors, right? So where I grew up and how I grew up, I didn't grow up as a child with much money, right? We had very little. At times my mother didn't even eat so I could eat. You feel what I'm saying? So I saw that and I was like, oh, hell nah. Whatever this money thing, I got to get a lot of this money and keep a lot of it. So I used to be an avid saver. Now I was scared to invest for a long time and I had to heal from that trauma. And then now, I trade, I invest, and I do a lot of things like that. And I put my money constantly to work. So if you have 10K saved at 29, I would assume you're a spender. We're just going to assume that. There's a lot of things I don't know, right? I don't know if so one, it's normal, right? But then we need to identify where the fear is coming from. So the fear could be coming from, you might be scared to lose your savings. I don't know if you're unprepared. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you have children. I don't know if you have debt. There's a lot of things that are kind of missing from this. So I'm just going to try to cover a vast area, right? If you only have 10K, and I say only because I don't know many areas in Western countries, especially in America, where you can live on 10K comfortably, like the savings, emergency fund. So I'm already assuming as well, 10K does not cover 6 months of your emergency fund. I know for me and my family, that don't even cover 2 months. So we want to definitely get our income up. Again, I don't know what kind of job you were. I don't know any of that stuff. So, I might start asking for that information when people do send me questions. But I'm just assuming, again, 29. I don't know if you have your own career. I'm assuming you have your own career. But first things first, we need to get the savings up, right? So how do we do this? We need to increase our income. It's time to go get a skill that's going to literally increase the skill and not just pay your bills, but save some money. So if you're in school, if you're out of school, if you have a full-time, you're working part-time, whatever you can do to get your income up, let's go get it up. If you can go back to school. Now, I'm not a big advocate of going back to school. I'm going to be honest with you, because the system in America is like a trap when it comes to the education system. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. That's not what this video is about, but I don't get in $40,000 worth of debt. You know what I'm saying? To make $5,000-$10,000 more, hopefully. Nowadays, man, it's 2025, bro. Like, at the time of this video, you can go get a certification. You can go get skills that pay you. So I am more of an advocate of skills. That's why I teach people how to trade the futures market and things like that, right? You can get a skill, still work your job. You can also get certifications and improve and get another job, increase your money. So I would encourage you, but no matter what, whatever your primary job is, do something to increase your income, to get a promotion, to do something, right? Go get a certification, go to get some CE, some continuing education. Do something that can increase that and get that up. Keep your living expenses low. And by all means, depending on what your goals are, if you do have debt as well, you want to get out of debt, look, go get your part-time too. Go drive Uber, go do something. Like I said, I'm a big advocate. If you could save enough money from your primary, take that same time, because we don't get more time back, and put this into learning a skill that you can do basically from anywhere that's remote, or something that could pay you, for years to come. Again, you already know I'm about trading. If you're interested in that, you can go to my description. But that's my thing, right? You can do that no matter what. But we have to get the emergency fund up, because that definitely could be a reason that you're stressing about money. All right. Next is, once you get your money up, assign every dollar a purpose. Every dollar is a soldier in your army to go to work. There shouldn't be $1 that's unemployed. I don't got no broke money sitting around here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no lazy money. None of my money is lazy. Every dollar that I have has a job. Every dollar. And so now assign it. Assign how much you want to start allocating to investing for the long term. Like I say, the index funds, or the dividends, right? The stocks you want to buy and hold for the long term. Allocate how much money you want to invest in yourself. What can go to buying books? I have a bookshelf with about 75, 80 books on it, right? $1,000+ of books on that shelf. Allocate money in there. It didn't start with $1,000 up front. I started off spending, $70, $30, $40 and get me 4 or 5 books, used books, right? But allocate what you can spend to go get education. Go spend on books. Go spend on courses. What can you allocate? Because again, we don't want to stop with, we don't ever want to depend on our job. We want to make sure we're going to get this money, so we don't depend on a job to feed us. Because what I always say, what did James say, my people? If your job can feed you, your job can starve you. And ain't nobody going to starve you. Not as long as you here talking to James Strong. You feel me? So let's not depend on that job, man. Let's make sure we can always feed ourselves. That don't mean you got to quit before you're an entrepreneur. I'm not saying that at all, by no means, because it's not for everybody. It's hard. It's hard. But you want to have options, just knowing like, yo, if you ever got to make that transition, if that job ever gets too stressful, you can leave and you have time and breathing room to do whatever you want, and you don't feel stressed or worried, because if something happens, you ain't going to eat, you're going to miss a meal. Nah, you good. That's the point we want to get to, right? And so let's build a plan, create a roadmap, short term and long term. Again, long term, we need to put them dollars to work. Now I got to go to work now. What you doing with it? Even your food, man, you got to plan your food out, all that stuff. And then short term, investing in yourself and having, your money allocated properly. This shift from fear and from scarcity is going to take you to confidence, to wealth, to abundance. It's going to expand your mind. And it may be uncomfortable at first, but this is what it takes to stop stressing about money. Because all we are, just like trading, that's why I love it, right? All we are as humans are a bunch of habits and patterns. And when you learn to read them, so that's why I can kind of look at this and gauge. I'm like, all right, 29, Mike, you know what I'm saying? So you got 10K saved up. You don't have much saved up to be 29 years old. I would assume you're not married. I would assume that. But it's like you can kind of read patterns, but okay, I'm assuming you got your own place. But no matter what, a lot of the solutions to certain patterns are the same. So focus on that mindset shift, man, and then make sure you automate and simplify as much as you can, because it's going to be tempting, because it takes time, like losing weight, like gaining muscle, training in the gym. It takes time to make long-term permanent results. So I don't want you to try to rely on saving money if you don't have to, when your default habits, it's not who you are, right? It's not who you are, but it's your default habits got you to the point to where you only have 10K set up at 29 years old. Only 10K. And again, you could be in debt, so your network could be negative. I just left that. You understand what I'm saying? But I followed the plan for years, betting on myself with entrepreneurship and endeavors and stuff and taking risk on myself. So mine began to grow. Like, people think growth is linear. They think it's just straight, but it's exponential. So the things I'm telling you are the things I was doing years ago. And it takes time to build up. And a lot of people, what they do is like, again, like going to the gym. We all can relate at some point, right? Even me, I'm 6'5", 235, six pack. Like I'm fit now. I was once almost 300 pounds. So we can all attest to some kind of journey, whether it's weight loss or not. Weight loss is the most simple to understand. And you in the gym, man, you sore and all this stuff, but you see no results up front. That's how this is. You know, when you're going to get that certification, and you're looking for a job, you're not getting traction, and you're starting to save money, and you're not eating out, and you don't see much save. You're like, man, it's only $30, it's only $40. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. $30, $40, even $50. $50 saved every week is 4 times 4.3 weeks in a year. That's what the average is per year. I mean, per month for the year for 52 weeks. Dude, that's $200 something a month. You know what I'm saying? Now, you take that same 200, you invest in yourself and education. This is if you change nothing else. If you just save $50 a week somewhere, you can get a skill that pays you bills for real. Like you can really learn something for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard. So, you know, just automate your savings if you can. Maybe you can use your job to start sending your money to a certain account where you don't see it. I would definitely say automate your investing. Have it go ahead and pull out automatically where you don't see it, and just live on the rest. And finally, I would ask and say, not ask, but I would say, you know, make sure too, man, you define what really matters to you. This definitely can determine why you stressed out, because, you know, if you, like myself, family is a big thing to me, right? So if you pride yourself on being, you know, a well-rounded man, and, you know, you stressing out because you don't have money, you want to start a family. Hey, my brother, we got to get right, you know, because as men, that's our responsibility to be the rock of our household. And every man is not strong 24/7. Nobody's saying you got to be a millionaire, a billionaire. It's not about money, but I'm saying, like, mentally, you need to be the rock for your family. So if you're stressing now, you will bring stress to a relationship. Sometimes you know what I'm saying, you might not even be able to recognize the right relationship. So again, we ain't getting relationship talk. You know what I'm saying? But just come from experience, man. Being married, been my wife for over 8 years. You know, having a beautiful family, a child, you know, stuff like that, man. Like, define what matters to you, and that's also what's gonna help you determine your goals. So, my man Mike, I hope this helps. If anybody else wants to leave any questions, you can always leave a comment down below. Feel free to comment for trading or finance. Just make sure it's on the right video so I understand which one is for. And also, you can email me questions to questions@jamesastrong.com. I will have that in my description, and I have it on the screen. That's where some people send me questions too. So either one, I really don't care. I know some people prefer to put in the questions because it's a little bit more private. The questions, email. So feel free to email me that, man. If it's a good question, I'm gonna make a video about it, and, you know, you get some good advice. So with that being said, man, always go to my description. Got great things coming for you guys. Make sure you check that out. If you like making money, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't like making money, then don't subscribe. It's that simple, man. Much love.